What is going on YouTube? Brendan from Market Makers, your home for Wyckoff, Advanced Fibonacci TA. Guys, I went ahead and made a Simple FX tutorial video, how to use Simple FX. That link is in the video description, as well as the bonus breakdown for your first deposit bonus. Again, up to $5,000. Guys, it is a double bonus with our link. Watch that video. I think you will absolutely love this platform. This is where I do all of my trading outside of the crypto world. I represent two exchanges, BitGet and Simple FX. The thing they have in common, anonymous trading. Very important to me, especially if you're living in certain restrictive countries. You can trade with just an email and a VPN on Simple. And for some countries, you don't even need a VPN. So check them out because you can trade your equities, your commodities. Cryptos are there as well, and Forex pairs. And it is a fantastic bonus. It's the best bonus that I could find. I pursued Simple. We get emails every single week from marketers. Hey, represent our exchange. Hey, we'll pay you to do this. We'll pay you to do that. I pursued Simple because I trade there. I love the platform and I want to share it with the members in our Discord and with you guys. So definitely check it out. I think it's worth your while. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Let's look at the indices, guys. And we're going to look at some individual stocks by request that you guys requested. So let's put all this in perspective. The CPI is coming out Friday, 8:30 a.m. before the markets open. The street's expecting 8.2. If we come in below 8.2, I fully expect some type of rally to form either on Friday or carrying over into the next week. If we come in hotter than 8.2, come in at 8.4, 8.5, I fully expect the markets to roll, anticipating the Fed will get stronger. Again, we don't know what that number will be, so we're going to look at the targets. And what we're focusing on here is the upside in this video because of the bullish structures that are built in all of these indexes. Okay, so let's look at this. You have your Wyckoff base on a NASDAQ, Wyckoff ceiling, and you have your LPS. Okay, this is your pivot. So what you're looking for here is the pivot out. And then we're going to look at our targets on the daily time frame, guys. The biggest trades as a swing trader are going to come in a descending market at your 200 and 233. Growth and tech, just like in the .com, will be highly volatile, and they lead the ascent for the price run up, and then they lead the descent. This is a pattern that happens in these equity bubbles. It happened in .com. It's happening now. NASDAQ Russell led the move up. NASDAQ Russell topped out first, started falling. The SPX stays strongest, longest. It is a pattern in a market cycle, so pay attention to it, because if this market does get more bullish, we have to understand what we have to flip. Now, if the NASDAQ was able to flip the 200 and 233, yeah, you can look at more upside. But so far, it has not been able to do that. And this was a big 20+% move down, okay? This is a short I posted in our room. You can join our Discord trading room with that join button right underneath this video. And guys, this could be a great trade if the NASDAQ does pump up. I do have this golden rectangle right here at the 1 fib at 13,815. If there's a lot of euphoria, if that inflation number on the RIG CPI comes in low, you could see this come up to the 1618 at 15,252, and that would be a massive move. From where we are now, let's just measure that out. Just grab the bottom wick here. It's not exact. Come up to the 1618, it's a 22% move. We already had an 8% move up, so you're looking at a 30% move in the NASDAQ. That would be absolutely massive if that happened. Realistically, I just want to see us get back up to the 200. Easy trade if we start topping out at the 200, okay? And that's not that far away. And of course, this will affect all the stocks traded in the NASDAQ. But again, where we are now, up to that 200 is still an 18% rally from basically the base of that candle up to the 200. So that's a massive rally still, okay? And yes, you could trade this on a breakout on lower time frames, but we're going to go over the bigger moves here. You can see here on the 8-hour time frame the volatility, the whipsaw back and forth. Why I'm not interested in trading here till we have some type of breakout, and I'm definitely interested in looking at the short where the NASDAQ tops out. And let's go ahead and look at the SPX. SPX, very similarly, you have your Wyckoff base, Wyckoff ceiling. I mean, look at the structure. It's like identical, okay? Wyckoff base, Wyckoff ceiling, here's your LPS. Now your 200 and 233 are lower. So this will be interesting to see, and that's why I like this target on the SPX 43.43. It is right between the two of them. Now the SPX, which is different from the NASDAQ as far as momentum, the SPX has been able to get above the 200 and 233, not once, but twice in trend, but it hasn't been able to hold it. So you could see the SPX come up, flip these, maybe even tap that 1618 at 46.71, which is pretty close to the all-time high, okay? So you could see that. Imagine how euphoric the markets would get if you did see that. So we'll track this as it develops, but this is a bullish structure, just like the NASDAQ. Looking at that CPI, guys, these are going to be key targets. You could trade this on a breakout on a lower time frame. I do teach trend trading in the room. I have a video series on that. If you want to come check that out, you can. And these are targets that I'm definitely looking at for shorting. SPX will be more interesting to watch because I don't expect the NASDAQ to get past the 200. I think the NASDAQ will top out at the 200, but the SPX clearly has the ability to get past the 200, so we're going to watch that. Now, I mentioned this on the Bitcoin video. The Russell doesn't care. The Russell's not waiting. The Russell formed its Wyckoff accumulation range, base, ceiling. It made its cup after an upthrust. You see this? Pumped up, and now it's just trying to move up. Your first target on the Russell is 1952 at the 1 fib. Your 200 and 233, look, no coincidence your 200 is sitting up at the 1618 at 2108. This would be an excellent target if the Russell can come up here. The Russell, again, these are stocks number 1001 to 2000. This is a lot of growth, a lot of tech. This would be an excellent trade potentially if you top out here at the 200 or 233, which you can see the Russell has a problem with even the 233. If you top out here at one of these two moving averages and this thing starts to roll, this is a great short to take, and we'll be talking about it as it comes closer. This is the daily time frame, okay? Let's go ahead and fast forward to Tesla. Tesla has been on a massive decline. So let's go ahead and look at Tesla and see where we're at. We are 50% off the all-time high. Now, in our other room, we shorted this in our other room. We used to have a pro trades room. We were running two trading rooms at the same time, one for equities, commodities, and Forex, and then we were running a crypto room, but we merged them together. So this is a 50.52% drop in price value here. Now, you can see here, I mean, this is beautiful how this is tracking to the GANFAN layout. You can watch Saturday's video to learn how to do this. I laid all these out from the pandemic low because that was a clear bull run after that. The Fed inflows, retail inflows coming into the marketplace, you got euphoric pumps. Now, Tesla's targets, I'm using this trend-based fib off of this swing low here to that swing high down to your swing low. You are looking at this right here. I have Tesla coming up. It needs to flip the 382. It already hit it. You see that? It needs to flip 796, the 0.5 at 850, the 618 at 905. That 618 looks like a really good target, guys, because your 233 and your 200 are descending. Which one is the lower one here? I keep forgetting to color code these. The 233 is the lower one, the 200's on top. These are descending. So if Tesla does manage to get bullish, and look at it's holding the fan for support, you see that? If it does manage to get bullish, first thing it needs to do is come up out of this Wyckoff trading range, flip this, hold this for some type of support, either get to the 0.5, hit this angle right here between these moving averages. Again, this depends on time, how quickly these things descend, but you could realistically come up to that 618 at 905. And that's your Tesla price before Tesla tops out and starts falling down. And obviously, if inflation report comes in really low, you got to look at your 1 fib at 1082. Tesla could turn super bullish if everybody thinks the market's fully healed, inflation's under control. You could see a lot of inflows into stocks like this, okay? These are all daily time frames, guys. I'm just keeping it consistent so I can show you these long-term targets. NVIDIA also massive decline, but again, look at the structure. Tesla is inside its Wyckoff. NVIDIA, just like the NASDAQ, just like the SPX, is on top of its accumulation range. It's even trying to make some progress up, but you have to look at your long-term targets. Your 1 fib up here is a very realistic target with your 200 moving average. That is at 238.63. If the markets turn bullish. If they don't, this is going to roll back down and test these new support levels, okay? So you have to get past your 0.5 at 197, your 618 at 206, and your 1 fib at 238.63. And again, if the markets turn super bullish, your 1618 phi is at 289, and that's up here at this peak. So you'd be coming back up towards that peak. what I'll probably start doing on this video series, I'll just focus on 1 or 2 stocks and go a little bit deeper dive in some smaller time frames. Some of the big stocks, like Tesla, is the most heavily traded retail stock by retail traders. So I'll probably look at that a little bit more in depth on some of these videos as well. But I like NVIDIA as well because it's been a very heavily traded stock and experienced a big decline. So you could trade this, guys, and we'll look at this maybe next video. I'll do Tesla and NVIDIA on some smaller time frames as that CPI report comes out a little bit closer. AMC, guys. AMC is so crazy because obviously, as you guys know, Melvin Capital, that hedge fund, part of the reason they're essentially dissolving their fund is because of the debacle with AMC was shorting, right? So Melvin Capital got wrecked, and that's because of retail. And I mean, you just have a lot of retail in here. So you get, this looks like an altcoin. And when you look at it, it looks like an altcoin. So this was a little bit less useful for Fibonacci waves because of this huge peak here. But basically, I threw on my Gann levels here so you could see this, right? Because I know a lot of you from the comments own some AMC or want to trade AMC. Here's your Wyckoff trading range. You got to come up above 1402. You're trying to make like a cup pattern here. You got above it and you fell. You got to come up above 1402. And really, guys, you got to be above 15. If you get above 15, you could have a breakout up towards 19. At 19, and again, this is a daily time frame, you have your 200 and 233 coming down. So this is a realistic trade. If you thought this was a bottom and you expect inflation, the CPI to come down lower, well, I mean, you could trade this and try to ride that up. But again, it's not a guarantee. And to me, it's too risky. I would wait until you get out of this trading range. And look, you try to get above 15 and you got a hard rejection here. So I would really want to get above 15, guys, and see where this goes. But again, these rises up. And that's a good rise because the stock at that point would be $15 going up to $19. But I mean, in general, guys, the bigger money, if this does fail, is going to be in a lot of these stocks on the ride down after they top out. If the NASDAQ tops out and rolls, wherever these stocks are at, you could see a big decline at that point. If the NASDAQ makes another big leg down, this would be making another big leg down. But this is a nice price move. And again, on a smaller time frame, you could definitely trade it. Let's do a quick review of energy. Still on this channel here on oil. I love oil. Traded it several times in the last 6 weeks, but I'm not interested here on this pump. I want either some type of top to come. I want to see a retest of support. I would love to see a retest falling back down to this channel that it was previously trading in. That would be a great buy somewhere around like 114. We're at 121. It's just too toppy right here. And you can see it's struggling. It's too toppy. And it's the same with Nat Gas. Nat Gas is at the highest it's been, I think, since 2008 or 2005. So I'm not interested here. And again, these primary trends for these assets, these commodities, is bullish, right? So I'm also not necessarily interested in shorting it, but I want to see it pull back to some type of support level for Nat Gas, maybe around $8.17. And I would love to see a crash, some type, not a literal crash, some type of heavy pullback based on news or something, because I do believe Nat Gas has a lot more to rise. These contracts are bought well before the winter time. Like I said, I think Nat Gas has a potential to double. It could go $15 to $20 before the winter season. So we'll see how this plays out as well. We'll be tracking it. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll answer your comments and questions, and we can talk in the YouTube comment section. Check out Simple FX, guys, and definitely check out our room, the join button underneath the video. New video tomorrow, guys. Happy trading.